Guys, I'm so obsessed with Junior Mints. Pregnancy cravings help. I've like almost polished off this entire box. This is like my 7th box. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about some of the worst products that I have come across and tested in 2019. Now, clearly I don't have any of them on my face. Can you imagine if I did though? With all this makeup on, I'd be like, yeah, these are the worst products I've ever used. My skin doesn't naturally look this airbrushed. It's just the terrible products I've put on it. I'm actually wearing all of my favorite drugstore products of the entire year, which I did a video of last week, so you can go and check that out. I will link it at the end of the video for you guys. But today is about the terrible stuff. The garbage at the top of the pile. Bottom of the pile? Is the top of the pile is the worst, or is it the bottom? I mean, it's all in garbage, so it's all pretty bad. And as with every single one of these videos that I do, I don't do a lot of them because I feel like they're like just super negative. And I don't like that life on my channel. So I'm gonna try and make it as entertaining and positive as I possibly can. And also, sneak peek, I'm not putting them on my face, but you will see why next week. But again, as with all of these videos, if these products work for you, that is awesome. There's obviously a market for every product, and someone is going to find something that they really love about it and really speaks to them, and that's awesome. These products just didn't work well for me. I didn't enjoy my experience with them, but I don't know, maybe you really love them. And that's awesome. And if you like these kinds of videos and you want to see more of them, go and check out RachhLoves Life. I showcase some of the worst like Wish and AliExpress and Amazon products, like kitchen gadgets that I had tested over the course of the year. It was super, super fun. Kind of a look back, a throwback to some of the videos that I've done over there. So you can go and check that out. And now let's get into the terrible stuff. So where am I gonna start with this video? Oh boy, this is fun. We're gonna go all over the place today. We're gonna have high-end, we have drugstore, everything in between, and we're gonna start. I have no particular order to this. I have a basket. I've been collecting, just squirreling them away. And so we're gonna start with a setting spray, because you know what? In a list video, I can. It's always at the end of the video, and I always feel terrible for it. You know, it's always the last thing, so let's like bring it up first, even though it's a bad product. And that is the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Face Waterproof Setting Spray with an ultra matte finish. And this product, when it first launched, I was very excited about it. I have tested a whole bunch of Huda Beauty products. I like them. This one though, this smells so terrible, so pungent. Not even pungent. And it's so aggressive, and it doesn't dissipate like instantly as soon as you put it on your skin. It's just like lingers there, and it's so overwhelming, super alcohol-y, and even if it did make my makeup last for 2 weeks without breaking me out, and also put on my makeup for me, and buy me a unicorn, it wouldn't matter because I couldn't get behind the scent. Ooh, maybe if it bought me a unicorn, I might be okay with it then. But regardless, this was a terrible product. Did not like it, could not get behind it. I have been saving it just for the purposes of this video, but I will never use again. No. Nope. Next up. Ooh. Concealer. This is by the brand Lawless, and it was something that I found on Sephora, and it was one of, like I do oftentimes test out either the highest rated or the lowest rated of new product launches from Sephora or Ulta, something like that, and I really enjoy them because sometimes you just find people who are in like a really terrible mood or don't know how star ratings work, and then you find this like hidden gem that is terribly rated, or vice versa. So I always find those videos to be super fun to film, but this one turned out to be just as bad as everyone said it would be. To the point where I don't even think you can buy this now at Sephora. Like it's full on, they just took it off because it was just so bad. And I remember when I first tried using it, first of all, it oxidized on my skin. Second of all, it was so dry. Like there was like nothing on the applicator. It was like thick, but then dry, and then nothing was coming out. This one was really, really bad. Did not like it. I was very sad about it. Let's talk about this brush next. Can we talk about brushes, by the way, that are in like weird shapes? Tarte's very well known for them. Like I remember like a flamingo one year, maybe a pineapple. Did I make that up? No, there was a pineapple, right? There was also this number. This is from Wet n Wild, and it is pretty. I will give them that. But I mean, you could just buy a really pretty rose if you wanted something that was just gonna like look pretty, you know? It was just a very awkward brush to hold and use, which is why I would purchase a brush, would be to actually use it. And I found that despite it being like a really, really soft, beautiful brush, this like lip around the outside to create that kind of rose shape, when I would buff it into the skin, if I accidentally slipped to the side, I'd like, you know, like smack myself with some plastic, which is great feeling. And again, just really awkward to hold because it was such a thin brush and this like interesting shape. No, can we stop with these kinds of brushes, please? I don't like them. They are just not super useful. And if I'm getting a brush for makeup, I want it to be useful, sturdy, wash well, and just be good quality. And this had the good quality brush and everything else was bad. Next on to a palette from Morphe. This was their artistry palette. Is that it? Oh, 35G Bronze Goals. Sorry. It's on the front, Rachel. The name of the product is on the front. And when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, this will be pretty. It's got all those nice, warm, kind of pretty creamy, sandy, beachy vibes kind of shades. I can get behind that. I'm excited. And then I started to like play around. First of all, it smells awful. I don't even want to keep it open. Now, granted, I am quite pregnant and very sensitive to scents, but regardless, it doesn't smell good. And the quality of each of these shadows was really terrible. In particular, the shimmery ones, which were not shimmery at all. Like I tried to get them on. They looked really like dusty and dry on my eyes. I tried wet, dry, didn't matter. Tried a bunch of the different shades because I was like, ooh, maybe it's just this one shade. Maybe it's just these 2 shades. Maybe it's all 17. And even the mattes didn't blend out very well. It was just like a really bizarre palette. Like I just wasn't expecting it. And yeah, no, it was pretty awful. No, thank you, please. Put that away. Next. Oh, I just realized the light from my window blinds just coming in, giving me like a little bit of like a glow thing going on, or an orb on my shoulder. Guess this should probably go in close eye. Oh, by the way, do you love my pants? I can finally fit them again, guys. If you are new to my channel, these pants, these candy cane pants, they stretched out and I was really sad because they didn't fit me for so long. And now they fit me again in pregnancy and I'm really stoked about life right now. Also, fun fact, this is a cropped sweater that does not fit, so I put a tank top on underneath it just for filming purposes. I do have a stock of shirts that I cannot wear out, but I can wear for filming. I just ruined the whole effect, but it's fine. Take a little sip of tea. Oh my gosh, getting back into tea. If you have any favorites, can you let me know in the comments, like any particular like flavors and stuff? There are a lot of that I can't drink in pregnancy, obviously, but I'm excited to get back into them all when I'm no longer pregnant in like a month and a half. A month and a half, not even? Wait, hold on. Oh my gosh, in a month. My due date is in a month, everyone. It's in a month, it's in a month, it's a month. Sorry, just blacked out there for a second. Anyway, back to makeup. This next product is from Wet n Wild. It is a foundation that they launched as part of a series of products that they were doing that were specifically geared towards people who enjoyed going to the gym and needed some quick and easy products to take with them that could just kind of freshen up their makeup for post-gym or during the gym. I don't personally wear makeup to the gym. I haven't been to a gym in numerous years. I don't know why I even said that, as it sounded like I went to the gym yesterday. But this is the Wet n Wild Pump Makeup Locker 3-in-1 BB Cream Highlighter and Corrector. So first of all, you can see it is a very, very messy jar on the outside, which is confusing because it's supposed to be like one of those like quick and easy products. So I would have assumed if you were looking for a product that's going to be like boom, 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 super, super easy, you'd do a stick BB cream or something like that, like something you can kind of slide on, smear in with your fingers or with like a, I don't know, like an attached brush or something, you know? But they decided, no, let's go for like a paddle format and a really heavy liquid that won't blend really easily and doesn't give you a lot of coverage, if any coverage at all. This paddle format really intrigues me and I would have loved to be part of that marketing meeting where they decided to just greenlight this whole project. And then on top of that, they have sort of this concealer and highlighter in the lid as well as the mirror. I like the mirror idea. I think that's a great one, though it's very small. And I feel like at most gyms, they have like bathrooms with mirrors. So, I mean, it's not super necessary, but like I appreciate the effort. But then the concealer inside I found to be almost darker than the BB cream itself. And then the highlight was like this weird kind of a gray shade, which I can understand if you have very fair skin like myself without all the self tanner on. I can appreciate something that has that more of an icy undertone to it, but then pair that with like a much lighter concealer and foundation. And to be honest, I wouldn't even include concealers and foundations because I personally want something that's like a hair lighter just for a brightening underneath the eyes. And yeah, just this whole product in general was just like a big fat miss for me, regardless of the fact that I don't go to the gym. I just don't think it's a super practical product. And just like the former marketer in me was really intrigued by the design of this. I really wanted to understand why. Now on to another eyeshadow palette. This is from the drugstore. This is the Revlon Color Stay original eyeshadow palette. I was gonna say quad because it's so small, but it's not a quad. I actually tried out a whole bunch of the palettes from this line when they launched, and I found every single time I was going into like a bunch of the different palettes, I would put on a shade, I would blend it, I would add a darker shade, blend it, and it would like entirely disappear. To the point where I feel like at one point I had 9 different shadows on my eyes and it looked like I just kind of brushed a little bronzer on it. I don't love the small, narrow eyeshadow thing. It's very like Urban Decay Naked palette kind of thing, but on a much smaller scale. It's just like, this didn't do it for me. And like most of these shades are all the same. You could have really just picked maybe 2 or 3 of those colors and then kind of like mix it up with some other ones. But anyway, did not love this, was not a big fan. And yeah, let's go. It's over here. Ooh, let's talk about this primer next. This is by Makeup Revolution. This is their Pro Base Blur Primer Illumination Base. Pro Base Blur Primer Illumination Base. All right, the name is kind of weird, doesn't really make much sense in the order in which it appears, but anyway, I got really excited because I love blurring primers, I love illuminating primers, very excited about that whole thing. And so when I first like pumped some into my hand, I was like, oh, it's a clear gel with gold sparkles in it. That was their illumination. It was very thick. It did not give the radiant look that I was going for, because oftentimes if I'm going to use like a very illuminating kind of a base, I want to do like a much softer, subtler foundation on top so you can kind of see some of that illumination kind of peeking through. But I don't want little chunks of glitter on my face. I'm not from Toddlers and Tiaras. It was just a really bizarre product. I wasn't a big fan of it. And I think that there are products from Makeup Revolution that are a lot better. This one just threw me. I just wasn't prepared for how bad it was. All right, what's next? Wow, I had a lot of bad products this year. This is an eyeliner from Fenty. This is part of their like Neons collection that they had launched, and they had done like a trio of liners, and they did 3 sets, I believe. And I remember looking at them and swatching them and not really understanding the choices with some, like just in the way that they had kind of paired some of these colors together. So they had done like 2 blues and 1 pink, and it was just this like odd combination. And I feel like I would have personally liked a duo better with some of these bright colors versus a trio, but that's just me personally. And then in terms of the formula, it was very hit or miss. So some of the ones, like the blue shade in particular, gorgeous. It was like very, very bright, instant color payoff. It was incredible. I loved it. But then things like this yellow, and there was a green as well, they were really watery. And oftentimes with these types of liners, I want to do like this big, like crisp line, you know? And I felt like I couldn't get that with this because it was a brush tip. It was just very flimsy, and it was a very watery formula. So yeah, this was not it for me this past year. One is by Carity. This is their lip lock, and it, by the way, this color, absolutely stunning. I was so excited when I got this. I purchased like a whole bunch of stuff from them, and this was one of them, and I was like just beyond excited to test it out because I really enjoy this past year. I've been testing out a lot of indie brands, a lot of smaller brands, and just getting a chance to try something that was outside of just like the drugstore, Ulta, Sephora kind of thing. Although I think they're now in like CVS, I want to say, or Ulta, which is pretty cool. So it's nice to see when these like smaller online brands get a lot of recognition and can like go onto like big platforms like that. Anyway, now on to what I don't like about this one. Color, phenomenal. So excited about it. But then it is a matte lip product. So I found that when I was applying it and it dried down, anytime I talked, it turned into this like sandy, really gross kind of a consistency on my lips. And so I found that it was just not wearing very well. It would dry and flake, and then it would just look very, like my lips looked crepey, which I don't want in any product at all, but like in particular a lip product. So I was really disappointed because again, color, phenomenal. And then another eyeshadow product. There were a lot of eyeshadow products that really disappointed me this year, it seems. This is by Wet n Wild. It is their Mega Glow Eyeshadow Trio. This is when they launched like a whole gemstone themed launch, which was pretty interesting, really cool. I liked the concept behind it. But I found that these shadows, like I found one to be really good, and then the other two were like meh, subpar, didn't really love them. They were all sort of obviously in themed color stories, depending on what gem it was. But I found that the colors were all just very similar, and I was looking for, even if it was like a straight up purple, I would have loved to have seen like a really deep amethyst matte shade, and then a bright kind of lilac, pop it in the inner corner of the eye one, and then like a sparkly shade like this. But these all just sort of felt like they weren't cohesive as a group, that I could use them all together, but could only use like one or the other and I'd have to swap. But other than the packaging, I just found the formula to be not great and the color choices to be a bit confusing for me. And I actually have a couple more worst of products, but I'm gonna hold on to them because again, next week's video, you will see why. I'm very excited for you guys to watch, so make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, and go and check out Rachel's Life. If you're looking for more videos, there will be a new one up on Saturday. I'm going to be testing out some of my pregnancy cravings on Saturday, so I'm really excited about that. Chris and I are gonna sit down. He's gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. There's a bunch of new ones. I did a video back in the first trimester and I had like a whole bunch of cravings, and so these are all the new ones that I had. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you all. Mwah!